I'm going to talk about my most profound ayahuasca experience, but first I need to tell you a bit of a backstory. So after every ceremony you have the opportunity to speak to the shamans, and you get to say to the shamans your experience, whether you purged, the visions you had, if you had any dark visions or anything like that, and he'll basically tell you what they are, what they meant, and he'll tell you how to move on from there, how to connect with the medicine, how to process what's happened, different things like this. With me, I was struggling to connect with the medicine. So I'd have a full cup, nothing would happen, 3/4, nothing would happen, half a cup, nothing would happen. So I told the shaman this, and he looked at me like, he turned and looked at me with like this smile on his face, and he just went, 2 cups, drink 2 cups. So the shamans actually have a more potent drink themselves, one that they maybe put more chacruna in, one they've maybe reduced more, so it's just a bit more potent. And he said, I'm gonna drink 2 cups of that. So I was like, okay. I was excited, a little bit fearful, but mostly excited because I know with that amount, something for sure is going to happen. And it did. So I drank it, and for about 30 minutes nothing was happening. I decided to lay down, relax a bit more. Another following 30 minutes, nothing happened, but then all of a sudden it was like, whew, it was like I opened my eyes, and it's like I closed these eyes and opened another pair of eyes, and I was in another dimension. And in this dimension, it wasn't a void because there was people in it, I was in it, but around that was just pretty much darkness, but deep colours, like deep purples, deep blues, deep reds, sort of like a galaxy portrait sort of colour. And my intention before going into this was love and connection, and I really desired the connection, especially with the medicine. Once I opened these eyes, I saw the shamans, I saw some of the facilitators, some of the participants were in this area with me, and it was like it's like they was there all along, just waiting for me to break through and get there, because it was like, well done, you're here, like, we're glad you could join us, sort of thing like that. And I was there telepathically communicating. So we wasn't speaking using our voice, we was telepathically communicating, and we was able to translate and reply back telepathically. I was primarily telepathically talking with the facilitator Craig. He was telling me to like just relax and let it flow, and he was telling me like to have a good time. And I was also getting these other messages in the background. It wasn't from any of the people in the circle, but it's like entities' voices in the background, and these voices were saying stuff like sacred, special, and just sort of like reminding me that this place I was in was to really be appreciated. So that's what I did, and I was anyway. But other than the visual, like, you can feel the connection, you can just feel like the high energy. Another thing is the Icarus, they sounded different, they sounded just perfect. It wasn't too intense, it wasn't too light, it wasn't too overwhelming. It was just perfect, and it was manipulating its environment around it, because the Icarus being channeled by the shamans helps the world you're in. It helps control it, because they are controlling the medicine through the Icarus, and they're helping assist and guide your experience. And I could see directly the change the Icarus were doing. It was the energy in this vision. We wasn't static, sitting in a meditative situation. We was floating in a meditative situation, but we was flowing with the energy of this dimension, and it was just blissful energy. It was like waves, and everything was just moving symbiotically and perfectly. And as the shamans were singing the Icarus, it wasn't just notes or vibrations coming out that we was translating. It was forming like entities. So as they produced the Icarus, a python would come out, and the python be like similar colour to this, and there'd be other entities, but I don't really remember what they are, it's quite vague. But other than what was visually going on, there was a very deep emotional connection. Like I felt like I broke through, I felt great, felt like I was fulfilled. And I felt the connection to the people in the group, the shamans, the medicine. I just felt that connection I desired. But other than what the medicine gave me, my body actually reacted in quite a contradictory way to what I was experiencing. Because any outsider that was watching me, because it's what people have told me, thought I was going through a terrible time, and it actually scared them. Like they thought I was like probably going to die or something, because my body was doing like uncontrollable actions. I was kicking, flailing my arms and like rolling about, and the facilitator came over and I think I was puking like on myself like this. So it's strange because in my mind I'm in like paradise, I'm in bliss, I'm just in some dimension of pure love and connection. But my body is having a complete different experience. My body on the other hand is like just releasing all this excess energy and flailing, which was quite distracting. So the facilitator had to come over and like try and help me and try and call me back and control me. But I was so deep in, I didn't know he was calling me, I didn't know he was talking to me, I didn't even know he was touching me, because he was actually at one point pinning me down to stop me from throwing up on myself and moving about. So as he did that, I didn't even have a clue. I didn't notice. All I know is I drank the medicine, an hour later it kicked in, and I woke up once the ceremony had completely finished. Because normally the ceremony finishes, everyone claps, and I missed all of this. I just woke up, the candles were lit, and I was off of my mat. But it goes to show you it's not a recreational drug, it's not something you take with your friends or to get high and have some crazy experience, or it's not something you take and walk about, because my body was doing all of this stuff and I had absolutely no idea it was doing it. I was in bliss, but my body was having a complete different experience.